Don't Make Me Look So
我可以
Good.
抱你吗
What were you talking about?
Jay Chow,
A-mei,
AKB48.
Japan Heritage theme song.
Sounds a little bit Chinese.
I'm canceling the tour.
I just cannot agree.
Junggu Onyobi.
Hello， 朋友们，我现在非常的紧张呀，马上我们就要开始采访我粉了非常非常多年的 Marty Friedman 了，非常紧张，非常激动。OK， 话不多说，我们现在马上加入会议。
A few moments later.
Hi, Marty. So happy to finally get to connect with you. How are you doing after all this American tour thing?
Yeah, that's been great. I just got home from a vacation yesterday.
Oh, nice.
My first vacation in 6 years. And I just got back to Japan this morning. So, yeah, I'm just happy to be back and getting ready for a lot of touring coming up, including China especially, because this is my first band tour of China ever. So myself and the band are so excited about it. And it's nice to talk to you about that today.
Yeah, well, it's nice to see you again. I've seen you a couple of times, and thank you so much for making your big fan the best day in his life.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm your decade-long super fan.
Thank
You've
you.
always been my biggest influence on music, arrangements, and guitar playing. So please let me express my greatest gratitude for you to show up today.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So instead of making this like an interrogation, you are welcome to, like, if you have any questions from your side, just feel free and let's just chill out, right?
All right.
Well, before 2024, though, I think the last time you visited China for live performance was like the A-mei tour in the 2010s. That's correct. And how did that collaboration happen between you, A-mei, and Takahashi Omura? Yeah. How did you feel back then?
I think A-mei wanted to do kind of a very heavy version of her songs. And she had heard that I was living in Japan, and that's kind of close to China. So she and her staff had the idea of having me join her band and have an all-Japanese band. And it was one of the best experiences ever. I loved it. She's just the best. And we played 3.5 hours every night and played in so many cities in China, cities that I'd never heard the name of before. But when you get to the city, it's like bigger than New York.
Right.
There's so many great metropolises in China, and the people were absolutely wonderful, and the food was fantastic. The music, I was already a big fan of hers, but playing her music was a joy. And every single night, they had a big party.
Oh, wow.
After the show, every single night, and we toured like maybe 30 shows or something like that all over Asia. And I went to about maybe 12 or 13 of the parties, and I couldn't take it anymore because they were just partying too much. Everybody was partying every night. It was so much fun. But I had to like take a break from all that partying because I was getting hungover and stuff, and I wanted to enjoy the concerts a little more.
Oh, right. That's great. You know, that was kind of like the first exposure to a lot of your fans in China, you know. I think one of the solos you played in one of A-mei's hits was one of the most ever covered solo from you in China.
What solo are you talking about?
I think that's, there's a song called 我可以抱你吗? It went like 我可以抱你吗爱人 That song.
Oh, yeah. One of her songs.
Yeah, that was her song. And that was also like covered a lot aside from your solo works as well.
Oh.
Yeah. And then in 2024, you came to China like 3 times. It's been a while since your last visit. And how different was it? How different was the feeling about being in China?
Well, I'm excited to see there's just so much more guitar influence on the music in China and more excitement about guitar and interest in what I'm doing. And the first time I went to China, I think it was like in 2004 or 2005.
Oh,
and
right.
Guitar really wasn't that widespread at that time in China. It wasn't, it was kind of a new thing to a lot of people. And you never know if it's going to become popular or not. And so I felt like I was there at the beginning of something that was exciting that was happening. and I did a lot of seminars there, and a lot of people showed up, but I didn't know what to think, what's going to happen to China with music, because, guitar was, of course, it's normal in America and Japan, but I didn't know how the Chinese audiences were going to continue with guitar music.
Yeah.
But now it's just, there's so much fever and so many more people, guys and girls and all ages, playing guitar, and people know my music more in China than I expected, and this is really very cool.
Yeah, that a great portion of that thanks to you, Marty.
Thanks to you. If you're spreading my music around.
That's what I have to do, man. They're so beautiful.
Cool.
And so, but it's your first time to really tour China as the Marty Friedman band. And what took you so long? Japan and China is so close to each other.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it really comes down to being busy with so many other things that even if an opportunity came up, the timing wouldn't be right, or it just wasn't the right opportunity. Those things have to all collide together with a lot of good luck. And this time, Mavis has helped out very, very much in making this tour happen. And we're going to leave a very, very big impression on the people in China. And I think a lot of people are going to leave that concert feeling very, very happy and very excited about the future. And just, they're not going to leave thinking, oh, he's a good guitarist. They're going to leave feeling good, because I'm trying to do something with my band that not a lot of people do, and that's bring the audience into our music, make them participate. Even though it's instrumental music, I think a lot of times when you hear instrumental music, you walk away thinking, oh, he's a great guitarist or he's a great piano player. I don't want that. I want people to think, I was part of the show, I was there, I was participating. And there's a lot of eye contact between my band and the audience, and myself and the audience, and everybody's in the same room, breathing the same air, kind of thing. So that's what I think I want people to expect.
Yeah, I always ask people to come to your concert because I was there several years ago, and what impressed me most was the energy out of the whole team of you guys. So I know you have a pool of musicians to choose from to form a lineup. Can you just introduce a little bit about the lineup for this tour, and how do you pick and select bandmates?
My band, not a whole lot of people have the same energy as I have to play music. A lot of people are very good players, but maybe they stand still when they play, or maybe they play softly, or maybe they don't have the kind of power, and they don't have that kind of enthusiasm and just craziness, and not embarrassed about anything. In my band, none of us are embarrassed about anything.
Right.
Especially my drummer. So he really brings people into the show, and my band, it's like a 4-sided diamond or something. Each person, you could just watch any one of the 4 people in the band, and that would be entertaining enough, because it's not all about me, it's about the band, the whole entire group. So I think it's very, very rare, and there's very few people in the world that I could choose to do that with my band, do that in my band.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait to see Chaji again. So, this time, if you bring Chaji here,
where did you see
get him this.
Oh, where did you see him in America?
Well, I went to a tour in Minneapolis in the 2019 tour, I think.
Oh, wow, great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, so that left me a very, very deep impression. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And that's my first time meeting you. Yeah, so get this, and this is a very popular brand.
Oh,
in
that's
China,
awesome.
Chaji.
Yeah, he's so excited to go to. He's never been to China before, so he's really excited.
Yeah, just getting them here. Before we get on tour, you get on tour and let every VIP ticket purchasers to meet you, and we have to let everyone know that Marty doesn't shake hands. And would you tell us why and what's the preferred way to greet you?
Just say hello. We can talk and we can hang around and ask questions and have fun. And I don't like things to feel like it's rushed. You know, I want everybody to feel like we have at least a moment together, you know. But the reason why I don't like to shake hands, there's a lot of reasons. Of course, the main reason is some people get so excited and they squeeze your hand so hard.
Yeah.
I have to play every night. And, you know, if you meet lots and lots of people and everyone shakes your hand, it's really crazy. So it's better to just, you know, say
just wait till
hello
you-
and yeah.
Or take a bow, maybe.
Yeah, that works. Best way.
Sure.
That's the best way.
You also done a lot of guitar clinics, which that's how you encounter with a lot of fans as well. And here's a plug-in. Marty also has a guitar clinic on May 14th in Shanghai. And I was lucky enough to be on your 2020 online masterclass as well. It will be very great. And can you tell us about what can we expect from that clinic?
Oh, in Shanghai?
Yes.
Well, what I like to do most is allow the people who come, I like to let them run the thing. I let them ask their questions, because I would rather answer the questions, the things that they want to know, and show them the things they want to see, than have to think of it myself. Because it's really not about me, it's about the people who are coming. I'm so thankful and so appreciative that people come. I want to give them exactly what they want. And so if they have specific things that they want to talk about, that's the perfect time to do it.
Wow. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
And well, speaking of your latest album Drama, and which is this tour is about, before Drama came out, I wouldn't be surprised that you will make an entire soft album with romantic songs. But when it came out, I was still thrilled that as if you've like presented what's really inside your deepest corner of your heart. And you just brought your tearfulness and romance to the next level. Can you tell us a little bit about the concept behind this album?
Well, thank you very much. That means a lot to me, because that's exactly what I wanted to do.
Oh, wow.
It's exactly what I wanted to do. And I always knew I was going to do this sometime, but I have to have the right material for that. Mm-hmm. And it took a long time to come up with the material, maybe 2 years, lots of demos, lots of editing, changing things around. But I think inside that music was just waiting to come out. Usually I have 1 or 2 ballads on every album. And every single time I think, I would love to hear a whole album like this. But it's, for me, a ballad is the easiest thing to write, but it's the hardest thing to produce, because there's a lot of different things to think about. What exact instruments am I going to use? Violins, violas, cellos, piano, whatever. How am I going to do it? Am I going to do rock beats, or am I going to have no drums? Or there's a million choices when it comes to a ballad. But if you do an up-tempo song, it's easy to arrange. Mm-hmm. So this time, I had the arrangements, I had the songs, and it all came together nicely.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's true. And the illumination in China, it's gone wild, like in guitar community especially.
Really?
We are seeing a lot of covers of it, right? Just on Bilibili, people are covering it. Like they're happy to listen to it. But just out of my curiosity, why is there no illumination music video?
Yeah, right now there's only 2 music videos. There's one for a Tearful Confession and one for a Song for an Eternal Child. And I'm probably going to do one more video, but even that's not going to be for illumination.
Oh, okay. And why is that?
I don't know why. I think the record company, the American record company, got excited about illumination, and they wanted to put that out right away as a visualizer, a song with no music video, just to get people into the album, and it kind of worked for that. So when it came time to start doing music videos, that song was already out, so I didn't really want to do it again. But like, maybe I can do. I'm going to probably play it live in China. Maybe I can do a live version of that in China or something.
Sure. I really like this album, and I'm also happy to, see the third version of Thunder March, or say Triumph. Yeah. So would you tell us a little bit about the 30-year journey of that song?
Oh, Triumph? Yeah. That's the hardest one. It took forever. It took forever just to get it how I wanted it to be, and it's kind of my personality. I don't really like to release things that I'm not completely satisfied with. But in the case of Triumph, I just always did the best I could, and it was never really, this is it, it's done. I never really thought it was done until now. So now I feel like I can sleep.
Oh, wow.
I can rest because I finally got it done.
Great. I think what a lot of the Chinese audience think about your music is that there are a lot of Chinese elements inside them. You've got songs like the Black Cat and those in the Themes album, like the Valley of Eternity, and even the Japanese heritage theme song sounds a little bit Chinese. And so throughout your career, I think Chinese music has been part of your subliminal instinct, right? So what's your understanding, or what do you like about Chinese music?
You have a very good ear, because when I did the Japan Heritage theme song, people in Japan were saying, this part sounds very Chinese. and yeah, but I also feel like there's a lot of Japanese music that has a Chinese influence.
Mm-hmm.
I really think it does. And I wanted to represent that there. But all through my career, you're very right, I learned a lot from Chinese music. When I was a teenager, I lived in San Francisco, and there was a Chinatown there. Even before that, I lived in Hawaii. There was Chinatown.
Oh.
I used to buy cassettes. Of course, I couldn't read anything. I would buy them, and there was always really nice ballads on there, and nice erhu playing.
Erhu, yeah.
And I just wanted to express myself with that same kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So I just copied a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
And if I copied it, maybe some Chinese people will know I'm copying it, but American people just think it's new and original. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. I won't say copy. Once you play that on the guitar, it's already originality there, I'm sure.
Well, but maybe that's true, because by the time I'm finished with it, it's a different touch. But I learned a lot, and I learned a lot from this one tape. I forgot what it was called. Chinese Violin Ballads.
Okay.
It was a very simple tape. Chinese Violin Ballads. Every song on that had beautiful melodies that I've never heard before in rock. So it kind of changed the way I played guitar at a very young age. And then there was this piece of music called Butterfly Lovers.
Oh, yeah.
And
I know that.
I learned that on
Chinese.
guitar. How do you say it?
I think it's called Liang Zhu.
And when I played that, I learned a lot of that when I was a teenager. And when I played it on A-mei's tour, I played it in my guitar solo. And I was asking the staff about that song. I said, is this Chinese classical music? He says, no, it's modern Chinese music. Real classical Chinese music sounds completely different, but this is a modern version. So I learned that the Chinese music history is very deep and very long. To me, it sounded very classical and it sounded very Chinese. But maybe to older people, they will think that it's modern.
That's really nice to hear. I'm always curious about how possibly can you integrate the the beauty of Chinese and Japanese music and all this Eastern music so well. Like when you write the song Black Cat in Cacophony, it just turned from major to minor simply with the Chinese pentatonic and Japanese pentatonic. And in Forbidden City, you integrated some Arabian or like say, I think Egyptian scales or sounds that make it so cool and wicked. How do I manage to integrate all those kind of stuff? How do you compare the difference between Chinese and Japanese music?
Well, when I was much younger, I'm sure I thought in that very simple terms of what scales and pentatonic and minor scales and things like that. But soon I grew out of that and I stopped thinking that way. And that's when I really started to express myself better when I was interpreting Chinese melodies, because real music doesn't really stay in the same scale the whole time.
Right.
It changes a lot. So I think I started throwing away the concept of scales and just starting to concentrate on melodies and chords, and that gave me a lot more freedom. But like when I was working on Cacophony, a lot of that stuff was just kind of experimenting with things that other people did, but I did a different way. Everybody plays pentatonic scales, but I voice them in a different way. So I say, how do I do it different from other people? And let me expand on that. So I wasn't really copying other guitar players. Maybe I was copying Erhu a lot.
Oh, probably.
And a lot of the Chinese violin from those cassettes I was listening to. So a lot of that is directly ripped off from that.
Okay.
But when I grew up out of that, you might listen to something like Illumination and say, you know what, that sort of feels Chinese. But that wasn't ripped off from anything. That's like directly from myself, my musical. There's a musical part of me that's Chinese somehow. I don't know why.
Yeah. And that's why, by the way, that's why I bought Dreaming Japanese. It's a limited edition.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for signing my book.
Yeah, thank you. Cool.
Yeah, so I was really into this and try to find out what make you like have that soul, that Asian soul inside you, and where did those Eastern influences came from. But other than that, I just happened to find that it's a really joy to read this book.
Thank you.
It's such a joy to read, yeah.
Thank you very much.
It's much more private than I could ever think of. It's explicitly interesting. Yeah, it is. How did you decide to write something like this? Do you actually prefer like non-music or guitar-related topics for interviews?
Yeah, I mean, as you can imagine, I've done a lot of guitar-related interviews in my life, so it's not my favorite thing to talk about. But I have to talk about it, and I enjoy talking about it because it brings attention to music and things like that. But I think an autobiography is a time to say all the things that you don't say in interviews, and things that maybe don't make me look so good, things that might be a little bit embarrassing, and things that
No, it's not. It's cool.
definitely people don't know. Because if people already know it, there's no reason to put it out again. So I really was very conscious of making it personal and not trying to make myself look good all the time. And when I read other people's autobiographies, when they say things that doesn't make the writer look so good, then I feel it's very honest. And I enjoyed reading that more than people saying all the good things and talking like a resume, you know what I mean?
Right, sure. Yeah. I heard that from other interviews that you want to make it more humanized in you a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got this on that point, actually. I think one of the fascinating facts about you is that you almost started your rock star career from almost day one of your playing guitar.
Yeah.
And do you think that's a privilege? Because I've got a lot of like young, good guitarists in China or Asian countries, whatever. They might need advice from you, but I just found that some factors make your experience somewhat hard to copy. And one is that you've got to start a project and day one of playing guitar. Yeah, do you
Yeah.
still get the flashbacks rocking in the barn nowadays?
That's a very, very, very good question. Could you say the very last thing you just said again?
Oh, do you get the flashbacks like rocking in the barns in Maryland, like when you're performing nowadays?
Oh, flashbacks. Okay.
Yes.
Everything that I do is basically the same as what I did back then when I was 14, 15 years old. And
Yeah, I think that was
it never
kind of
leaves
like a
you.
privilege.
It never leaves you. And like you said, I was very, very lucky. In the music business, it's all luck. You know,
Okay.
it doesn't really have much to do with talent or creativity. It's just lucky things that happen in your life. So I was very lucky to play in a band when I was a little kid, and none of us could play great, but we started the process playing in front of people at a very young age. And I think what happens, especially now, is people learn from the internet and they practice really hard and they get good, but they're always by themselves. And
Yep.
I think then when they try to go into the real world and play with people, in front of people, it's so different and unusual for them that it's kind of difficult. So I was lucky that even when I could barely play, I sucked so bad, but I was playing in front of people and it was normal. And it was normal, it was more normal to play in front of people than not. And I'm still the same way today. If no one's watching me, I'm not going to play guitar.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sitting around by myself playing. It's just, I need somebody to be there because then I have this natural thing that makes me want to, one, entertain them, and two, show them what I can do. It's a natural thing from like a 14, 15-year-old feelings. Same as now.
So you realized that you were born for this kind of at a very young age.
Well, it was the only thing I was really good at. I wanted to really play sports, like you saw in the book, is what I would rather have done, but I was terrible, just really terrible. So, but when I played music, it was like, oh, well, I can do this. But I was very lucky to play with people when I was young.
Yeah, I just cannot agree on one point that you stated that you did bad at the start. I think, have you ever realized how intelligently smart you are? Like
You're
that many names you can memorize.
too kind.
You know, the pieces at the very first when you're induced, I've played guitar for 20 years and I couldn't come up with lines like that.
Yeah, but you could come up with lines like you would, like Ion would, and I couldn't come up with what you come up with. See, that's the thing. That's the trick. Each person has their own music in them. So it's there. So you couldn't do what I did, but I couldn't do what you did.
Oh, wow.
You can't let that intimidate you. And what happens is young guitarists, young musicians get intimidated by that because they're like, oh, I could never do what Nuno did, or I could never do what Zakk Wylde did, or I could never do what Marty did. But I couldn't do what those guys do either.
Right.
You see?
Well, not
so
exactly. But
we're
yeah.
in the same situation. I can only do what I can do. So it's not something to feel like you can't do it. You can definitely do your own music. It's all how much you want to pursue it. But there's no way I could do someone else's music. I couldn't do your music or anyone else's music. I could do it, but it would be terrible.
Well, that's warm. That's warm, Marty. Thanks. And you know, one of your statements that kept me to like you stated in one of the interviews that people are who they are and I am who I am. Yeah, I'm really encouraged by that, and that's what kept me like so long in music business.
Well, it's so true, and every person, especially in music, because in music you are expressing yourself, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it is you play, you're expressing yourself. So there's no one who can express yourself better than you. Now, the way you express yourself, you have to constantly polish that and work on that. And the more you work on that, the more yourself comes out. And the sooner you understand that, the less time you waste trying to copy other people. It's really kind of a difficult concept because a lot of us, we hear someone else who go, oh, I want to do that, that's so cool. Maybe do a little bit of it and see how that is included in your own musicality. Like if you look deep down into my musicality, you'll see my heroes in there.
Oh, right.
I wanted to be like the Ramones, so when I play rhythm, it's the same. Mm-hmm. It's still in there. But I've been polishing my own music for so long that you don't hear those little kid time influences. You hear myself that I polished. So
right.
Yes, you are exactly who you are.
Interesting, because you mentioned like your heroes. I know everybody in China know that you're a big fan of Jay Chow.
Yeah.
And I somehow can hear a little bit in your music, but how did you started encountering Jay Chow's music?
I was in Taiwan.
Okay.
And I heard it on the radio, one of his songs. And I said, stop the car, we need to go to a shop and buy this.
Oh, wow.
What is this on the radio? He said, oh, it's Jay Chow. So I went to the store and bought a whole bunch of stuff. And what I loved about it was he was mixing these genres.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It was kind of like rap, but there was like an opera part. And then there was Chinese traditional melodies. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't, sometimes when you mix things, it just sounds like a pile of garbage. Why'd you mix that? But the way he mixed it, it's so much a meaning to the way he mixed things together and
right.
so much care. It wasn't just, let's fuck around and mix things together. It was just, he just has a very natural expression that he knew. You can tell that the guy is a genius. You can tell that the music inside him, he's expressing that. And you can see that he's a person with deep Chinese roots. Those roots are in his music. But you can also see that he is a very modern thinker, putting his music into a rap context or a ballad context, or sometimes his music is very traditional American AM radio ballads.
Yeah.
But it's mixed with his Chinese heritage. You can see the person from the music. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I heard that the first time I heard his music, I'm like, I want to know more about this guy.
Marty, I think you are exactly in line with these kind of musicians that have the appreciation and ability to integrate music from multiple origins, just like Jay Chow and Shina Lingo or Devin Townsend in that regard.
Oh, well, that's very nice to say. Thank you.
It's true. So I know some fans are trying to make this happen, but if you got the chance to work with Jay Chow somehow, and how would you like the collaboration to be like? And what song of you will you send him to like represent yourself?
You know, if Jay Chow asked me to collaborate with him, I would be very happy to collaborate with him in any capacity.
Okay.
Whatever he sees my part in his music, I would be happy to do that. I think probably from my two things that I would love to do, since I'm making this all up. I would love to collaborate on writing a ballad together, or I would just like to have a good space for a guitar solo in one of his ballads.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Like, you know how, like in my song, do you know the song Dead of Winter?
Yes, I do.
It's a ballad, but it has like an abnormally long guitar solo in it.
Oh, right. I love that solo. It has two language, right? Two versions.
Two language, right. Thank you.
Yeah.
I would love to do a solo like that in a Jay Chow song. That would be my dream.
Oh, wow. We're sharing the same dream, you know. If you let one of his songs sneak in your live performance, people just go wild.
Yeah, I would love that.
Back to your music a little bit. I know you might be tired about talking about that, but I'm sure a lot of Chinese audience might be curious. So, when you moved to Japan, your music was leaning towards a more like heavier, of course, but also an electric inspired and repetitive side. To me, it sounds like a mixture of you, Flipside, and Man of a Mission, that kind of direction. What made that transition happen?
When I moved to Japan, the music that I made,
Yeah.
it just is a combination of life experiences. And my life experiences drastically changed when I came to Japan.
Yeah.
First of all, I was working with a lot of Japanese musicians that I admired. Plus, I was doing tons of TV programs. And it's a very unusual stimulation.
Yeah.
Some of the TV stuff had nothing to do with music. So my brain was working and thinking in Japanese and meeting all these exciting people and working on these big projects. And that shows up in the music. Because like we were saying before, the music is just kind of, it's a mirror of your life.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I just had a lot of stimulation from Japanese things happening in my life that it made the music what it was. I think that my solo music became a lot more exciting when I moved to Japan than before.
Yeah, I think back then you have a unique way of writing, which is intentionally creating contrast between a riff-based verse, a heavy verse, and a very romantic melody. Like, it sounds very tearful, just like Bad DNA and the Elixir. And was that a Japan thing or Marty thing?
You know, it's when I came to Japan, I got completely immersed in Japanese culture, Japanese entertainment, Japanese business, Japanese lifestyle. So I don't know if I was trying to copy Japanese music, but I was definitely absorbing a lot of Japanese lifestyle. So I think when anyone creates music, the things around them influence them, even non-musical things.
Mm-hmm. And made you want to create a very big contrast in music.
Yeah, I always like contrast anyway, you know, so like I like very romantic ballads and very violent, heavy songs. I don't really like what's in between too much.
Well, then, to me, when you enter Inferno and Wall of Sound area, the later two albums, there seemed to be a sonic transition to me that you've like polished the Marty Friedman signature with a more up-to-date sound. At least to me, that was like it. Was modernizing your sound like intention behind these heavy albums?
Well, Inferno, and I think I talked about this in the book pretty much.
Yeah.
Before Inferno, I was so busy in Japan that I just said, forget about America. I have too much work in Japan. I'm doing everything I love. I'm working with people I love. I'm way doing better than I thought I would ever do. And to cultivate other countries is a lot of work. And a lot of people, I thought people forgot all about me in America. And I didn't like that, but I was fine because I was very, very happy in Japan. And then a record label in America called Prosthetic Records got in touch with me and they said, look, there's a lot of young guitar players out there now who are mentioning you in interviews. They're saying they're influenced by you, and a lot of, really happening guys are, saying they respect your music and your playing. But a lot of people think you just went to Japan and don't care about anybody else. And there's a lot of interest in you in America right now. And I said, really? I thought everybody in America completely forgot all about me. He says, no, right now is, if you were to release something in America, now would be the best time.
Oh, wow.
And so the record label people came all the way to Japan to talk to my management and talk to my Japanese label. And they not only released Inferno, but they re-released all my previous albums.
Oh, wow.
And gave me a whole new life in America. And I've been touring there ever since, and it's been great, all because of Inferno.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm very happy about that.
Back then, were you somehow into or influenced by the so-called progressive metal wave in the early 2010s, like what they call it, gent?
Not really. I was very impressed by a lot of the intricate guitar work that was happening around then. I never really tried to play it, other guys' stuff, because like I was saying, I suck at everything else. But I met a guy named Keshav Dar.
Oh, right, from the Sky Harbor.
Yeah, you know everything, man. You really know your stuff. Keshav Dar, he's a superstar. His guitar playing was absolutely exciting and fresh and brilliant. And so I wanted to collaborate with him, and we collaborated on a bunch of stuff. Actually, on an album called Tokyo Jukebox 2. And which was first? Jukebox 2 or Inferno?
I think Jukebox 2 is the first.
Yeah, I was working with, that's what happened. I worked with Keshav on a bunch of stuff, and he was just wonderful. So when it came time to do Inferno, it was just magic. It was, something happened, and we just kept, I would arrange his riffs, and he would change my riffs, and we'd come up with these songs that I'd never done anything like Inferno before. And it's just because when you have a new, fresh collaboration like that, great things can possibly happen.
Yeah, it definitely does. Well, to be honest, I think Self-Pollution and Inferno sounded more progressive than Dream Theater to me. I shouldn't have said this, but...
Well, I don't know. I mean, Dream Theater is a great band. I think their kind of progressive music is different from what I do. Because I'm not really so influenced by progressive music. So all of my tricky progressive parts are just weird things that I think of. But, you know, guys like Dream Theater, they're like professional prog guys. Their living is based in progressive music. They could probably play the entire Rush catalog. I don't know any of that stuff. But a lot of my stuff is in odd time signatures and polyrhythms, but they're not the same ones that most prog guys write music with. So it's a different world from Dream Theater completely.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. Well, I would still say that the most beautiful thing about your playing is still your melodic creation and those nuances and emotions out of it. Oh, so here was my question from the 2020 masterclass I asked you back then. How did you manage to translate your emotions to music or melodies? How do you think we can train ourselves to do that?
This becomes very personal, and I think every artist should try to think about music this way. Anytime you play music or write music or create music, you got to think of it like your name is going to go on that. So John Smith is going to put his name on it. So now's your chance to create something that represents that John Smith or whatever your name is. In Japan, you might say Yamada Taro. What would you say in China for that?
Yamada Taro?
No, like if I'm saying John Smith is a typical American name.
Oh, right, got it.
So
I would say maybe Zhang San. Yeah, Zhang San.
So let's say that's what your name is. Now that's your name, and everything that you do in music, it kind of piles up, and that's what people hear. That's what people see. That's what people know. So when you're creating this music, you're thinking, okay, I got to be careful now because this music is going to represent me to them. Do you understand? So when I'm playing something, people are going to say, well, I got the new Marty Friedman record, and it's this. So I want to be sure that it's exactly what I want to represent Marty Friedman. So you the same thing for every single person. Do things that represent you as a person and polish them till they really represent you well. Let's just say, for example, this is not true, but for example, let's say I liked this finger tapping stuff that people do on guitar. I really loved it, and I really wanted it to be a part of Marty Friedman's world. Then I would have to practice that stuff and create new ways to do it and create my own ways to do this. Then it would represent me. You know what I'm saying? So like every single thing you do, it represents you. And you got to remember that while you're doing it. Sometimes people just think, oh, this is fun, or this is cool, or this is easy to play, or I'm good at this. But then you got to think deeper. Now I'm representing myself. So that's how I could translate everything into music and melodies, because I'm playing melodies that I like.
So that involves a lot of analyzing and learning from what you like and thoughts behind it.
Yes, always analyzing. Like, do I really like this? Am I just playing this because it's impressive on guitar and people go, oh, that's cool? Or do I really, really love this melody? Constantly analyzing.
Wow, that's a very, very useful suggestion to all the musicians.
Yeah, and you know what? The good thing about that is it doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't. It just has to be you. If your music, I wish my music wasn't difficult. I wish it was easier. It'd be easier to fucking play. But it doesn't have to be difficult. But it has to be the person who's playing it. It has to be you.
Speaking of be you, well, another boring question, I would say, but you seem to don't care about what gear you use, right? But you definitely have a sound in your mind that can represent you, and you definitely know what works and doesn't work sonically. So how would you describe the sound in your head that you're going after?
This is very easy. I think people, either they have talent with dialing tones on amps and guitars, or they don't have talent for that. And I don't have talent for that. I hate turning knobs. It all sounds the same to me.
Really?
I don't have that talent. But if you talk to someone like Devin Townsend, he has that talent. He can make beautiful adjustments on the amps and beautiful adjustments on pickups, effects. He has that talent. I don't have it. So what's important to me is to have a good piece of equipment. If that equipment, for example, a guitar, stays in tune, intonates well, has a good solid sound, that's enough. I can play my melodies. I can play my solos. It's going to represent me fine.
Wow, okay.
So, but for a guy like Devin, his detailed effects and stuff, that represents him a lot too. Of course, he's a great player as well, but you know what I'm saying? So I have a very basic sound. I just plug in and go.
Okay. So you're really not picky about sound, actually.
You know what I do? I'll tell you honestly, when I go to the studio to record, I tell the engineer and I tell the guitar tech, I say, just get a guitar sound that anybody who's playing in a bar would be happy with.
Okay.
That's it. A good sound, sounds good to your ears, great.
That's simple, but works.
Works.
About guitars, so what's good about Jackson's guitar? You mentioned that the quality is good, but what made you want to work with them is the people. Now, what's special about the people that want you to collaborate with them?
I think people that have supported me over my career have been in Jackson and Fender a lot for many years. And you're so knowledgeable. You know my career. It has a lot of different, it's kind of weird. You know, it's a weird career.
It's a
you know
long
what
journey.
I mean? And it's not like suddenly I have some big hit song, and it was the biggest selling song of all time, and people just want to throw gear at me and support me and stuff. I'm just an artist making music. And so I have very successful times in my career, sometimes not as successful, or ups and downs. I have all that stuff. But the people at Jackson and Fender have always been there supporting me with equipment, encouragement, promotion, business opportunities, all kinds of things. No matter what stage of my career I'm in, no matter what I'm doing, I can just get on the phone. Like, for example, right now, I'm about to play in Brazil, and I asked Jackson to send me guitars to Brazil, and there they are. They're in Brazil. That's so important to me, those type of things.
Wow.
And the most important thing is the instruments are very solid workhorses. That's the only thing I really care about, you know. I need a work tool because I don't like customizing things. And I think that's what Jackson likes about me being a signature artist is that the guitar I play is the same one that's in the store, exactly the same. So you can buy the same guitar I play.
Wow. So will there be like more variants of your signature series, like a Kelly or a 7-string version?
Well, you know, we have been talking about a new Kelly release.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes, I'm hoping for that. And I would say next year, there's a very, very good chance it's going to happen.
That's a huge news to know.
You know, it's funny that I always hear that from super fans say that, but my guitar right now is selling so much better than my Kelly did. Can you believe that?
I'm not sure how true it is.
You know, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing, but like, I love the Kelly. I still play it live. And you know, I don't want to promise it, but it's something that we've been developing. And I would say next year, it's a pretty good chance happening.
Wow. I got to save up for now.
Yeah.
And in the recording session of Drama, and we know that you use a lot of boutique Fenders in Italy. And were there any one or two guitars that you just kept grabbing back or want to own yourself?
They were all wonderful. They were all wonderful. And I didn't really want to own these guitars because I wouldn't be able to take care of them.
Oh, okay.
So, and I can use them next time I go to Italy, where I recorded the album. I think a 57 Strat.
Oh, 57 Strat.
And I played that on Illumination. And I played it on lots of other songs, but that was a lot of magic in that guitar. And there was a Strat from the 80s and a Telecaster, 55 Telecaster, I think it was 55.
Love
yeah.
that.
I think they're on my Instagram. There's little clips of that.
Yeah. I saw that. All those things in your Instagram.
I don't.
An interesting clip about Tears of an Angel, where there's an Arhu guy in your studio. That was also very interesting.
Oh, you saw that one?
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah. Cool.
I think your arrangements are equivalently sophisticated, if not more, than your playing. So what's your workflow to put together those arrangements? Do you edit them in DAW all by yourself, or do you have someone else to help you?
The workload is really, really crazy because I do tons of demos. And I'm not a great engineer, but before I start working with other musicians, I like to do maybe even hundreds of demos of any song because I'm doing them in different tempos, different keys, different arrangements. I'm just waiting for magic to happen. And if it's not happening, maybe sometimes it never happens. But when it happens, I feel like I know it. And so it's a lot of demos and very, very boring desk work.
And so what we are gonna do is small fans requested questions, and I've collected some of the most asked questions. But before that, I'm curious, have you ever checked out the video of a man being confused about you playing with AKB48?
No, I've never seen it. Me playing with AKB48?
I think that's in Budokan, right?
Yeah, in Budokan.
Yeah. And there was a fan reaction. A guy from the States, he looked so confused and he turned red all over his neck and just couldn't understand what that's about. That was so funny.
What did he say? Did he like it?
He just seemed confused. He looked like a dated metalhead and couldn't understand what you're doing and just.
That's funny.
Yeah. How do you see fans like that?
I don't really know. I mean, I think it's. I'm going to look up for that video later, but I'll tell you that I play with Momohiro Clover a lot.
Yeah, I did
and
that
I
a lot.
only played with AKB once, and of course I play with all kinds of idols like that HKT and all that stuff. But like AKB48 at Budokan, that was like a dream come true. That might be my favorite experience since coming to Japan, because before that, I was doing a lot of similar things, but when the AKB thing happened, it was my favorite Japanese song, Heavy Rotation, and my favorite venue, the Budokan, is like they said, okay, do you want to play Heavy Rotation with AKB48 at Budokan? It's like, this is the luckiest thing that ever happened in my whole life. And so doing it, it was just so incredibly fun. And I love it when those things happen. It was really, really neat.
I dig that a lot, actually. I really like your performance with Momohiro Clover. I really like them. And in Tokyo Jukebox 2, you have a cover of, I think it's Aitakata.
Oh, yeah.
I really like that as well.
Oh, thanks a lot. I'm going to play with Momohiro Clover next week.
Oh, wow. Can't
Yeah.
wait to see that. I definitely have to check that out. Will that be out internationally?
I don't know. It's a festival.
Okay.
Some festival here.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. So here comes a question from Automan. I think you met him in Changsha, and he has a lot of your signature guitars in his collection. And Automan asks, Tokyo Jukebox series has gone well in Chinese Nijigen music circle, if that makes sense. So when will there be a Tokyo Jukebox 4, or will there be a Chinese jukebox somehow?
I've never thought about Chinese jukebox, but that sounds like a great idea. I really haven't thought too deeply about Tokyo Jukebox 4, but I'm always thinking of which songs I want to do. So sometimes I hear a song, I'm like, wow, I should cover that sometime. So I have a list of songs that I would maybe do, but it's not something I'm thinking about.
Okay, cool. Thanks. And another question from Zhang Qing, who is a killer guitarist in China. Zhang Qing asked, how do you keep slim all of the years?
I'm doing the same thing ever since I was 14 years old.
Oh, okay.
So nothing changes.
So you do gym?
No, I'm just playing music, and I never really eat too much, and I'm always busy, so I'm never I think what happens is people are behind a computer for so long at work, and they don't have enough time to, they don't move around as much. The more you're busy and even if you're not exercising, if you're going places and doing things, there's no time to really get big like most Americans do.
Oh, nice. All right, here's 3 more questions. From Gary O'Leal. Did you record all rhythm guitars all by yourself?
On what?
On your record.
Most of them, like we were talking about Keshav Dar, he did a bunch of stuff. And Naoki, who plays guitar in my band now, he played on couple things on Drama.
Oh, Naoki. Yeah. I thought there's a video of you and Naoki play the theme song of Detective Conan.
Oh, yeah. We were just talking about that today.
Yeah.
He's great. He's great.
I love that.
I let him play the hard stuff.
And then there's a question from your fan group, from Alec. Do you decide the numbers or plan the numbers of ballads versus faster songs in your record, or you just let them come out naturally?
Pretty naturally, but usually it turns out mostly heavy songs and 1 or 2 ballads. Usually comes out that way.
Okay, so it's pretty kind of like a natural process.
Natural,
Let it
not too
be
much
what it
thinking.
is. And the final question is from me, myself. Do you still drag audience to come up to jam with you on the Dragon Mistress solo? Do you still like audience to play solo with you?
Yes, we do that as much as possible.
Oh, wow.
It's like one of my favorite things. It's just such a cool moment. We enjoy it so much, so we do it whenever we can. Sometimes, depending on the venue, the stage is too far away from the audience, but usually we do it most of the time.
Oh, nice. Believe it or not, if I get to play with you someday, it will be the dream come true moment of me.
Yeah, well, we're coming to China.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so that's pretty much for the fans' questions. And the final section, we've prepared a small quiz for you. I think this is going to be very interesting. Well, I'm astonished by how you're able to learn Japanese and especially those kanjis. And in Chinese, there happen to be a lot of kanjis. So here's a little quiz for you to check out your proficiency in Chinese. So I have a couple of letters that's showing you, and you have to guess what the meaning is.
That's tegami, right? But it means letter. Write a letter in Japanese. But does that mean toilet paper? Toilet paper in Chinese?
Oh, wow, that's 1 point there. Wow, exactly. It's toilet paper.
Tegami did.
All right, number 2, what is this?
This is the same. Well, it looks a little different, but that's benkyo means studying, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. But in Chinese,
In Chinese?
what do you think it means?
It's different.
I don't know, maybe different, maybe the same.
してる? He knows. Doesn't mean study. Take a test?
Take a test? No,
Yeah.
it's actually reluctantly do something. I can barely smile. I force myself to smile.
Oh, wow. So that's very different.
It is.
ずるいじゃん. So like when Chinese people come to Japan and they see benkyo study, is that confusing?
Yes.
It's confusing.
When I first time.
Is it very confusing? Wow.
If it's first day Japanese learners, it's gonna be confusing, but that's
統一してほしいんだよね.
okay. And what is this?
Tenki Jang. That means the weather, right?
Yes, exactly. That's right.
So,
In Chinese,
but
it's
you guys
pronounced like
took out
tianqi.
the X in the bottom of that. So this is the modern kanji, the
Oh, right. That's the simplified Chinese.
simplified.
And what is this?
Daijoubu.
Daijoubu. Yeah.
So that means everything's okay in Japanese, but I would guess in Chinese maybe it means very strong.
Oh, it's very close. It means a real man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it means a real man.
Oh.
It's already 3 points. Wow.
That's fascinating. Kyoshitsu. So this
教室
means
in
something
Chinese.
different in Chinese? The study room, classroom.
Yeah, exactly. That's classroom. That's classroom right there.
Yeah. That's the same in Japanese.
And this?
Shin. We don't have that right one in Japanese.
Oh, I don't think you.
Can you see
I don't
it?
think you say it
Miyaru.
that way.
Shin Mimi. Does it mean news? News?
Yes, exactly.
It does.
That's news. Wow, 5 points. And what about this one?
Yosh.
That's the final one.
Good other. Something else that's good?
Something that you are really familiar with.
I'm really familiar with. なんだろう. Chocolate.
Unfortunately, no. Second chance?
I don't know this one.
Okay, so this is guitar.
Ki
That's guitar.
to ta. So it's in Japanese we call that ateji because that's pronounced ki and ta. Kita. You say kita.
Yeah,
Oh.
jita in Chinese is jita.
Interesting.
Wow.
How about
Nice.
that? Wow, that was tough.
So you've got 5 out of 7.
Not bad.
That's really
Not bad.
great.
I'm surprised how different they are.
All right, so before you leave, I would like to invite you to read something to your Chinese audience.
Okay, ready? 我爱你们，中国欧牛逼。
Something to your Chinese audience.
Okay, ready? 我爱你们，中国欧牛逼。
Yeah, exactly. Wow, that's
you
very
mean?
very precise. Good.
Was that? Did the pronunciation okay?
It's very okay, and it basically means I love you all and hell yeah, China.
Oh, so I want to remember that when I go to China to play.
Oh wow.
中国欧牛逼。
Yeah.
Dude, who says that in China? Let me take a picture of that.
You're gonna have to remember.
Arigato. Oh, that's great.
All right. So thank you
Cool.
very very much, Marty. Thank you. And,
Thank you very much.
Before you get on the road, you have any expectation on the China tour? Anything that you want to do? Look forward to?
You were in Changsha, right? My friend Sora here told me that those 3 cities aren't very known for spicy food.
Oh.
I'm thinking about canceling the tour.
Oh wow.
Don't worry about it. I got you covered.
Don't worry.
I
don't
know
worry.
Mavis is taking care of that.
You got everything.
Remember that
anything.
place?
No problem.
Remember that place
guarantee
we
you
went?
Spicy food every day.
That was the place we went with Mavis. Remember with the hot pot?
Oh, Haidi Lao.
That was so good.
Okay. I'll take you there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Marty. Have you
Thank
a
you very
wonderful
much.
day and see you in China.
Thank you, Ayan. Thank you, Mavis.
right, see you.
See you again. Bye.
Bye.
You know, for example, are you stopping me? Everything okay?
Full the battery to be able to continue like yeah.
You want to change it now?
The battery, yeah, we could.
Yeah, we can do that. It's okay.
Yeah.
No problem, no problem. Just 1 minute.
Are you tired, Marty?
No, fine. I just got back from Vietnam this morning. We flew like midnight last night and got to Tokyo like 7 in the morning.
Wow, that sounds exhausting. You deserve some rest.
Are you going to be in a guitar clinic in Shanghai?
I wish I can go.
I wish
And,
you could go because you're probably better than whoever's going to translate for me.
Actually, I was going to translate for you.
Oh, you're going to translate? Well, I take
But
that
I'm
back
sure
then.
he's better.
No.
No, I'm very impressed. You know so much about details about all my stuff.
Oh, really?
It's nice.
Thanks. I just feel like somewhat there's a connection. Your music just dragged me out of my darkest hours when I was in high school. I was so depressed. I just listened to scenes over and over again and I just lightened me up.
That's nice to hear. Thank you. Yeah, I feel the same way about the Beach Boys.
Beach Boys. Oh, okay.
Bungo onyobi. In Japanese, that sounds like take a piss.
You'll be. Right, I know. It's so funny.